Hi all, Hipper here. We're looking at the Koenigsberg with an Agile build today, and we'll just go through the setup here. There's not much to look at because it's tier 4 only. So most of the stuff comes from the commander. So rudder shift is 5.3 and 38 knots. So by tier 7 standards, this is not Agile. So this is my usual Legends build with the Müller and the Chulane Baltimore, and everything's the same as at tier 7. So like I said, this is obviously tier 4, so calling this an agile cruiser is a bit of a stretch, but it is as agile as you can make Koenigsberg. So I still consider it an agile build. Now if you played Koenigsberg, you know the rear 2 turrets actually rotate 360 degrees, and obviously that makes it a very good kiting ship, because you can just kite away and have 2/3 of your firepower still able to hit the enemy, and they rotate fast, and like I said, they're 360 degrees. So it's a very good both aggressive and defensive ship, and that's probably why I like it so much. It is my favorite tier 4 cruiser. Now, just like Hipper at tier 7, the AP is what you want to use on this ship, because it hurts, and it hurts a lot. The HE is acceptable. It's hard to get fires going, but at least the penetration is better than the other nations, which is like a typical German thing. But I always try to use armor piercing as much as I can in this ship here, because that's where you really get the big numbers in. So obviously, the more cruisers on the enemy team, the better you'll do in Koenigsberg. It'll also do fine against battleships, but it takes a long time to rack up the damage with the lack of fires that the ship here provides, or doesn't provide rather. So my original plan is simply to sit here and cap, and then see what else I can get up to afterwards. But then this very juicy AOBA here comes into to view, and it's just too good to give up. And you can see how fast the rear turrets they rotate, because they don't have to go the long way, they can take the short way when you change your side quickly. So they're already on target. Like any other cruiser, you would have to wait a long time for them to rotate all the way from starboard to port. But in Koenigsberg here, no, it doesn't matter. And that's where you can get citadels at ships quite quickly, quicker than most people expect, which this AOBA here is about to find out. And staying broadside like this to Koenigsberg at this distance here is also not the best idea in the world. So we got the AOBA, but we didn't finish capping, so we'll give it another shot here. And my team has pretty much cleaned out the left flank, so I don't really have to worry about anyone taking shots at my broadside from over there. So all I have to think about is what's on this part of the map here that I'm aiming at. And this nice broadside squishy Koenigsberg here is like an obvious target. Koenigsberg is very, very squishy if you show broadside, but that goes for every cruiser in the game, and it's a universal rule not to show broadside, unless you're in Wichita or Jakov or something like that that can actually take it. But here at tier 4, no, broadside is not something that you would like to present to the enemy team. Now I play this ship here with interchangeably like an agile build and a pure AP build, and I still like the agile build better because it's just more versatile, and I'll show what I mean in a second here when the carrier starts to really annoy me. As you can see, 2 squadrons coming in for an attack here, so I just try to be broadside to them because it makes it a little bit harder to hit me. As you can see, I just dodged that one there, and then we turn around and try to escape again. Like I said, if if you're broadside on to the squadrons, it's a little bit like more difficult for them to hit because your target isn't as long as if you are like steaming straight at the squadron or straight away from the squadron. Play a carrier yourself and you'll find out yourself that it's much easier to hit a ship head on than from the side, unless you are shooting torps, of course. But with AP bombs, try to be broadside onto the squadron. So now we have a squadron of torpedo bombers here, slowly making their way towards me. And of course I have that clocked, so I'm just using this Agile build here to set up the situation the way I want it. So I turn into an angle and then I wait for the actual attack, and then I slow down and I try to trick the planes here. And even if I don't trick them, then slow speed makes it easier to dodge the torps, like exactly here. So okay, we're going to try the cap again now here for the third time in this game here. I still haven't managed to actually take this cap because I keep getting pushed back. So this time it's not just me, there's at least another destroyer, and it looks like another cruiser is joining as well. So this time we should have a chance of actually taking this middle cap here. I've said it a few times before, and I don't think that Koenigsberg belongs at tier 4. I think at least, yeah, maybe the AP doesn't belong at tier 4. I think it's a little bit too powerful. It's almost more powerful than Nuremberg, which is the tier 5. I mean, I much prefer Koenigsberg over Nuremberg because it is at tier 4. So you'll be facing like a lot more even tier 3s and other tier 4 cruisers, instead of picking Nuremberg, and you could be facing tier 6s, which you don't want to face, of course. Koenigsberg facing tier 5s, that's okay, it doesn't really matter. It should actually be a tier 5 cruiser in my opinion, but that's a different discussion. So here, speaking of the devil, there is a tier 5 Nuremberg coming around the corner, and we just take him out of the game quite easily. And the carrier has arrived, and that's always nice to get a few easy shots at a carrier like this. Unfortunately, I only get one citadel in until I get distracted by this Omaha here, and that's the main reason I love to play Koenigsberg. It is that if you get to face a whole team of Omahas, I mean, sometimes you can face 4 Omahas on the enemy team, and if that happens, it's almost a guaranteed Kraken, because you can just chew through those squishy American cruisers like butter in Koenigsberg, and it's almost unfair, I think. I mean, Omaha is a good ship, and if you don't show broadside, you'll be quite alright in it. But I just think that facing Koenigsberg, most Omahas don't have a chance unless they can get into torp range. And don't forget that Koenigsberg, of course, has torpedoes as well, so it doesn't really guarantee anything. So here I'm trying to extricate myself from this Omaha because I'm honestly more interested in shooting at the carrier, and I'm not really in the mood to taking out the Omahas at the moment. I mean, the carrier is much more of a priority target. Fortunately, I don't get any citadels there, and the planes are congregating. So I decide, okay, I'm gonna go up this way, and then I'm gonna take out this Omaha here, because he hasn't shot any torps. So I'm just going to see if I can quickly get rid of him, and then get around the corner here and be able to citadel the carrier again. So that's the Omaha down there, and you can see the carriers right there. So it's a race now it's 4 versus 3, and if we take out this carrier here, we've pretty much won the battle. And just line up my shot here, and just waiting for the citadels to happen, and then it gets shot right in front of me. But whatever, as long as it's dead. So we just got a Texas left here that we're just gonna annoy for a while, and already got a high caliber and 100,000 damage. So this has been a very nice battle already, but just gonna give it a few more salvos here, and we're just gonna grab a Confederate as well. And medals in Koenigsberg, they just fall pretty much constantly. It's such a good ship, and with this build here, it just makes it well, almost crazy in my opinion. So although the rudder is more than 5 seconds, you are still able to dodge shells and fit in between the individual shells, basically. And then not as well as you could do at tier 7, but it's still pretty close. And just gonna get rid of this Texas here, and that's pretty much the end of the battle. So I'm going to skip the last few minutes where absolutely nothing happens. We're just chasing down the last battleship that's hiding somewhere and nobody finds it. So that was an Agile Koenigsberg battle for you guys, and this is how I primarily play this ship here, and I do really well in it, and I really enjoy this build. I think it's the best tier 4 cruiser, in my opinion. Emil Bertrand a close second, but definitely Koenigsberg. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you out there.